For centuries, this statue of Lady Justice has been representing us that the law is blind. We have seen this image in various Bollywood movies, in fiction, or even in songs. But now, law is not blind. Because while shading the colonial imprints, Supreme Court of India has unveiled a new redesigned statue of Lady Justice for their own library. If we look at the imagery of earlier Lady Justice, we'll find that she was having blindfold around her eyes. She was wearing a western robe or gown, and she had having a sword in her left hand. But while doing away with colonial imprints and more appropriate representation of Indian legal system, the new statue of Lady Justice has been unveiled, which has open eyes, holding the Indian constitution in her left hand, wearing bindi on her forehead, jewelry around her neck, and donning beautiful Indian sari. But what was the symbolism behind earlier Lady Justice statue? What is the history behind her emergence? How does she represent colonial legacy in India? And why the Supreme Court of India has changed the statue? Let's try to understand all these questions in this video. Hello, hi, namaskar, I am Prajwal Borse and you are watching the Indian Sapiens. While starting the video, let's first try to decode the symbols of Lady Justice. The blindfold of the lady represents equality before law, means everyone is equal in front of the law, regardless of their wealth, power or status. The scale represents balance or fairness while delivering the justice, and the sword is meant to represent the power of law. If you try to see when and how the Justice Lady came to become the people's revered icon of justice, then we'll have to go back to the ancient Egypt, where we find that the goddess Maat from Egyptian civilization, she was the embodiment of harmony, justice and truth. She is not directly linked with modern day Justice Lady, but Maat can be considered as the origin of reverence of lady, who is the personification of justice. But if we try to find the exact precursor of modern day Justice Lady, then we'll have to go back to the ancient Greek and Roman iconography. She is believed to be the personification of law and moral force that drives and regulates society. In ancient Greek religion, Themis was a lady who was depicted with scales and sword, who was associated with divine law, moral justice and God's will. But whom we consider as the goddess of justice is the lady Justitia, who was the goddess of justice in Roman religion. She was called Decolonizing in Greek civilization, the daughter of Themis. But in Roman civilization, Decolonization was changed to Justitia. By the way, she is also called by the name Lustitia. So yes, that's how Justitia is linked with Themis, that we talked about in the beginning, which came from Greek religion. So this Justitia means Lady Justice started associating with Christian values during the medieval period. However, it was only during the Renaissance that the figure started becoming popular in art and architecture. It was during this time that the statue of blindfolded women began appearing in courtrooms and legal texts and became aligned with the ideals of emerging legal systems. It was only during the British rule that the Lady Justice started becoming the symbol of so-called justice of British Raj. When the Britishers established their control over the India, they introduced their legal system and they started placing such idols in the judiciary. We Indians completely know what kind of justice they have delivered. But anyway. But now we have shed this colonial legacy as we have unveiled the new goddess of justice who embodies Indian ethos. We can consider this as a part of decolonizing process that our nation has been going through from a decade. We installed Subhash Chandra Bose statue in front of the India Gate. Earlier King George V used to be there. We changed the name of Rajpath, which literally means British Rajpath. We changed it to Kartavyapath. We changed the flag of Indian Navy by replacing the cross of St. George. We added Indian tricolor into it and the new ensign of Indian Navy on Indian Navy's flag, which is inspired from Royal Navy of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, who is also called as the father of Indian Navy. Many Andaman Nicobar Islands has also been renamed. For example, Ross Island has been changed into Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose Dweep, Neil Island to Shahid Dweep, and Havelock Island to Swaraj Dweep. By the way, these two names were suggested by Netaji himself. Various city names have also been changed, such as Allahabad to Prayagraj, Faizabad to Ayodhya, Aurangabad to Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar, Usmanabad to Dharashiv, and many others. Aurangzeb Road was also renamed to APJ Abdul Kalam Road. Dalhousie Road was also changed to Dara Shikoh Road. And many more steps have also been taken in the decolonizing process, and many are also under the pipeline. But not everything can be covered in this short video. I hope you understand this. But by getting rid of mental state of slavery and replacing Mughals and British symbols from our minds, we are literally self-purifying ourselves. We can also call it detoxification. But anyways, you understood the point. But until now, only central and some state governments wanted to do away with such slavery symbols. But now, important people from judiciary also doing such things, which is like a ray of hope for us. And let me remind you that judiciary is totally independent from legislative and executive, directly or indirectly. Nobody can interfere in judicial matters. So judiciary have changed the statue of Lady Justice by their own discretion. This is it, my friends. If you like the video, then please do not forget to subscribe our YouTube channel, The Indian Sapiens. See you in the next video. And until then, Jai Jagat, Jai Bharat.